Hello, I'm Brother Nathan Linton, coming to you from St. Bonaventure's Monastery of the Capuchin Order here in Detroit, Michigan, and welcome to Superior Disciple. Over the past couple of videos, we've taken a broad look at what it means to be a religious brother or a religious sister. We said that we're consecrated men and women who have dedicated their lives to God, and we live out our life both in active ministry and contemplative prayer. Today, I want to finish my introduction by looking at my own order, the Capuchin Franciscan Friars. If you've ever seen a religious's name written, you'll notice that they have a suffix attached to the end of their name. Now, this isn't telling you about their degree, but telling you which order they belong to. For example, after my own name is OFM Cap. OFM-CAP. Now this stands for the full Latin name of our order. We are the Ordo Fratrum Minorum Capuchinorum, which means the Order of Friars Minor, Capuchin. Now let's break that down even further. Order of Friars Minor. This means that the Church has included us in the First Order of St. Francis. These are the three different orders, the OFMs, the OFM Conventuals, and the OFM Capuchins, who have the closest historical ties to Francis. We are the oldest and therefore follow more closely in the spirit of St. Francis. So Capuchins. Who are the Capuchins? Well, like most of the Franciscan orders you see, we are a reform out of another Franciscan order called the Observants. We were founded in the early 1520s and would be recognized by the Church in 1528. However, the early friars were not too happy when we reformed out of the Observants. And so our early Capuchin brothers, had to make their way and hide with the Camaldolese monks in the mountains of Italy. Once we were recognized by the Church, we began to live out our own particular calling. You see, they strove to live out the life of St. Francis, and they saw that the other Franciscans at the time didn't necessarily live that out in the way that they saw fit. So they withdrew to hermitages built about a mile away from town, where they could live out a life of contemplative prayer and community and live a life of poverty and austerity. But at the same time, they knew that they were called to be missionaries in the world. And so they were a mile away, which is close enough for people to be able to come and visit them at their monasteries if they were in need of help or prayer. Very quickly after our Capuchin order was founded, the plague struck Italy. And so our brothers were some of the first to go out into the cities and minister to the plague victims. You can see this balanced life that they strove to live, both returning to the monastery in the evenings and, of course, beginning with prayer in the mornings, but during the day, going out and ministering to the sick, to the suffering, to the poor. We continue to strive that same mission today, almost 500 years later. Here in Detroit, we live our life of prayer in the monastery, gathering together in the morning and in the evening for common prayer and for Mass. During the day, we go out. We work at our soup kitchens, at our clothing and food banks, and work with men who are recovering from drug and alcohol addictions, all helping to relieve the suffering here in the city of Detroit. We meet Christ in our life of prayer, and through our works, we bring him to others. This is the heart of our Capuchin calling, to be united to Christ crucified and to bring that love that he showed us on the cross to those whom we meet in our ministry and in our lives. This was exemplified by our brother, Blessed Solanus Casey, who is buried here in Detroit and is a native of our own diocese of Superior. He lived out a life of prayerful contemplation, and people knew that he met Christ in his prayer, and so they came and they offered to him their suffering. They lived out a life of hope, knowing that we Capuchins, by following Francis, we're really following Christ, and through our life brought Christ to them. This is our mission, and this is what we've lived for 500 years. It's a beautiful life, and I thank God every day for my vocation. I'm Brother Nathan Linton, OFM Cap, and thank you for joining me here at Superior Disciple.